Welcome everyone to the Jason Coleman Show. Natalie, Avery, and I welcome you back to our living room here for show number 64. We've been at this now on Sundays for more than a year and a half, and it's been really exciting lately. Just in the last couple of weeks, we've had more people watching our shows online than ever before. I've been looking at the numbers, and just this week we crossed 5 million views of our Sunday shows, which is just mind-blowing. But no matter if this is your first time to tune in today or if you've been with us every step of the way over this last year and a half and beyond, welcome. We are so glad you're here today for what's going to be a really cool show. Now, every Sunday here on the Jason Coleman Show is a little bit different, but in every show it is my honor to bring new life to the signature piano style left behind by my grandfather, Floyd Cramer. Now, he was known and loved because of the way he played the piano. It was unlike anybody else. The style that he was famous for was known as the slip note piano style. And so in today's show, I am answering the question that I get asked the most about my granddad. That question is, what is a Floyd Cramer slip note? So in today's concert, I'm going to play some of the most famous and recognizable slip note piano songs. And then I'm going to break down these songs note by note so that you can hear exactly what makes the Floyd Cramer style so different than other piano players. We started off now with Please Help Me, I'm Falling, made famous by Hank Locklin. It was the first song to feature Floyd Cramer's slip note. He played the piano for that recording, and that was the first time Floyd Cramer played the slip note. And I'll tell the full story of that song here in just a little bit later, but for now, let's kick things off with the most famous Floyd Cramer slip note song of all time. It's a song he wrote later that year, Please Help Me, I'm Falling, in 1960, called Last Date. Last Date, the biggest instrumental hit ever recorded in Nashville, even now to this day, more than 60 years since it was recorded. And in fact, it was a bigger hit on the pop charts even than on the country charts. It's one of the most popular country crossover songs of all time. You can hear the first few chords of Last State and you can identify it immediately. Why is that? What makes that song and those few notes so different than any other piano song? It really sort of goes into the question that I'm asking for this whole show. What is the Floyd Cramer slip note? Well, I'll answer that for you now by playing a couple of more songs that serve as I think an ideal demonstration of the slip note. So I'm going to play these next two songs all the way through in the slip note style like Granddad did, and then I'm going to sort of take them apart and show you exactly note for note what goes into the slip note. So first up here, I'm going to play for you a song that you all probably will remember, made famous by Bob Wills originally, the San Antonio Rose. And then from there, we'll hop over to a little slower one so you can really hear it now, the Tennessee Waltz. All right, so I've played for you now several different songs that really showcase the Floyd Cramer slip note. And it's time to dig into what exactly it is. What is the Floyd Cramer slip note? Well, let me tell you how Granddad described it. He said it's like you hit the wrong note first and then you slip up to the right note, which sounds sort of funny, but that's exactly what it is. It's sort of like the sound that a fiddle or a steel guitar might make, where it sort of starts on one note and just sort of slides into or bends into the next note. Or like Granddad said, it's like the sound, he tried to make it sound like Mother Maybelle Carter's auto harp with glancing notes off of each other. Because you think about it, the piano is not really a traditional country kind of instrument, but Granddad helped to give it sort of a lonesome country kind of sound, and he was the first one to really do that and make it mainstream. So let me just play for you now so you can hear it. The Tennessee Waltz again. I'm going to play just the melody by itself, and then we'll add in these extra slip notes and you can hear how it sounds. So here's just the melody of the Tennessee Waltz all by itself. So first, let's add in that mistake and correction like Granddad said, and you add that and it sounds like this. Do you hear that? But then he added one more thing as well, and I think this may go back to his roots. He grew up loving Southern gospel quartet music, and in these quartets, you have the lead singer, and then you have a tenor singer that sings a harmony above the melody. And in this slip note, he would not only have the mistake and the correction, but he would add one little harmony note right above the melody. And so if you add that to the Tennessee Waltz, it sounds like this. You hear that? How different that makes the song sound? And all of a sudden you have Floyd Cramer. You have the slip note style that he made famous. And just for example, let me take San Antonio Rose, the same thing. The melody by itself would be. But if you add that slip note, it sounds, like this. See what a difference? You add that mistake and correction. And then you add that harmony note. And then the same could be said for even a song as famous as Last Date. If you take away the slip note, Last Date sounds way different. Like here would be the melody or the beginning of Last Date. Let's see. It's hard for me to even do it. I can't play it without the slip note. Let's see. That's the melody. Now that may be Last Date, but that's not Floyd Cramer. But if you add that slip note, it sounds like this. Now I know you hear the difference in that. And again, you can see exactly what I'm doing here. It's that little mistake. And then that harmony right above. And you can tell the difference immediately, in a Floyd Cramer in that slip note style. And just to get really technical here, for some of you who might be piano players out there, you might be asking, what is the difference between a slip note and a grace note? A grace note, well, for one thing, a grace note a lot of times is a half step, not a whole step. So instead of it being, like for Last Date, instead of it being, which sounds a little bit different, he would often give it a whole tone, a whole step. And to me, it makes it almost sound a little bit more, lonesome. Is that the right word? It really draws it out so you can really have some emphasis. And the other thing about a grace note versus a slip note, most of the times the grace note would come even before the beat, whereas the slip note, you hit that wrong note right on the beat and make it really prominent, and then you go into the correct note, you know? So it's a little bit, it's similar, but it's really different. And by the way, if you are a piano player or you know a piano player out there who might want to play in the slip note style, I do have a couple of sheet music songbooks, and if I were a good salesman, I would have them right here with me, but I don't. So my Piano Magic of Floyd Cramer songbooks, I've actually gone through and written the slip notes there on the page if you read music. If you're like me though, and you would prefer playing by ear, there's also a CD that comes with these songbooks as well. You can listen along. I play sort of a demonstration version of the song, and then there's one version that, you know, these tracks that you're hearing me sort of play along with on today's show and other Sunday shows. You have the tracks you can play along with the band and follow the slip notes along that way too. So all those songbooks are on my website if you were interested. And so once Granddad came along with Last Date, and Last Date was such a huge success and really life-changing and career-changing for him in 1960, the slip note really became synonymous with Floyd Cramer. And this is the style that he played with really for the rest of his career from that point on. And so I'm going to play for you now a couple of more Floyd Cramer originals that he wrote and recorded and played in the slip note style, starting with one of my favorites called Your Last Goodbye. And one more of my favorites now, and probably one of yours as well. How about On the Rebound? Jason Coleman Show is only made possible because of your support. So here are 3 ways you can help us keep the music playing. First, you can check out my CDs and songbooks, including my new Simply Piano albums featuring the best songs from our Sunday shows. They're all available at jasonmusicstore.com. Second, the tip jar is always open at jasoncolemanmusic.com/tip if you'd like to leave a gift. And third, you can join our supporter family. This is a simple way for you to enjoy even more music from my family and me and support what we're doing in an ongoing way. For just $5 a month, supporters get private bonus concerts, behind-the-scenes updates, and a discount on any of my music. It's sort of like a fan club, but to Natalie, Avery, and me, you are more than just fans, you really are family. You can sign up through Facebook by clicking that Become a Supporter button, or new this year, you can join directly from my website with your card or even with a check in the mail at jasoncolemanmusic.com/join. Thanks for all your support, and thank you for watching The Jason Coleman Show. All right, folks, we've reached the point in our show that we all look forward to every week. We have a special guest performer once again today. Would you please help me welcome the one, the only, Mr. Avery Cramer, Puppy.
No.
Oh, who are you? Oh, there's Puppy. Avery Cramer, who? Coleman. Oh, big boy. Avery's prepared a special song for us today, just like every week. And as we honor the Floyd Cramer slip note, he has a slip note classic in store for us. And that song is called Please Help Me, I'm Falling. You've heard me play it once, but you've not heard it like this kid plays it. So get our fingers ready and I'll start us off. Ready, bud? Here we go. Do that again. Do the slip note again. Do it one more time. Slip note. Whoa! Avery, come here. Take a big bow. Avery, that was so good. Did you play a slip note? Mm-hmm. Is it pretty fun? Mm-hmm. How about a big hand, everybody? One more time for Mr. Turn around. Avery Cramer Coleman. Take a big bow. Good job, bud. Playing the Floyd Cramer slip note just like his great-granddad. Doesn't get any better, y'all. Crazy by Patsy Cline, one of the greatest songs ever recorded, and I would say next to Last Date, probably Granddad's most famous slip note intro of all time. So, we've already been trying to answer the question for you today of what is the Floyd Cramer slip note, but the next question I often get is, how did the slip note actually come about? So let me tell you the story sort of as I have known it and come to know it. It all started with Please Help Me, I'm Falling, as I led off our show today and as Avery just played for us as well. This is from early 1960. The song, of course, was made famous by Hank Locklin, and Chet Atkins was the producer. Now, Chet had heard the demo recording of the song by the song's writer named Don Robertson. Don had written the song and he played the piano on this demo recording for Chet and the producers, and everybody to listen to, with this different kind of piano sound to it. And Chet was intrigued by this piano style and played it for Granddad to listen to, who was going to be the session pianist for that recording session. And while the style may have been new to Chet, it was not new to Granddad. He actually evidently had been tinkering around with this kind of style on the piano for a while, but never had the reason or the opportunity to record a song with it. And so the session comes around for Please Help Me, I'm Falling. Granddad plays that signature intro and all those licks with this new kind of style. The song was a huge success, and then Chet, being quite the savvy record producer himself, saw the opportunity for Granddad to take this piano style and release his own song that really would showcase it and sort of make it his own. And so Granddad had actually recorded, or he had written, I should say, this unnamed melody earlier that year. And so later that year in 1960, he recorded the song, named it Last Date, released it, and the rest is history. So Please Help Me, I'm Falling and Last Date, both in 1960, really were the launching point of the Floyd Cramer slip note. It solidified Granddad as Nashville's go-to session pianist during that time. He was part of this Nashville A-team, and you could hear his piano on not just his own songs, but songs like Crazy by Patsy Cline, and every artist that would come through would want these Floyd Cramer slip notes on their records. So I'm going to play for you another song now that you can hear his famous slip notes on, made famous by Jim Reeves. Floyd Cramer certainly was the one who made the slip note most popular in country records, and he played it like nobody else could. But it didn't necessarily start with him, and it certainly doesn't end with him either, the slip note style. And to that end, I'm going to play for you a song now that you've probably heard a bunch and you might think is Floyd Cramer on that slip note, but actually it's another one of Nashville's greatest session pianists. I'm talking about Hargus "Pig" Robbins, who played piano on this song. He's a fellow member of the Country Music Hall of Fame right alongside Granddad, and he really sort of took up the mantle as part of the Nashville A-team in the studios when Granddad in the 60s and 70s did less studio work in favor of going out and touring and as his own, sort of a headline artist. On all these old records, really, it's funny, if it's not Floyd Cramer on the piano, chances are it's Pig Robbins playing piano. And so here's a great slip note piano song that is not Floyd Cramer, but it's Pig for Charlie Rich. It's called Behind Closed Doors. Oh my goodness, what a day it's been here on the Jason Coleman Show. I hope y'all have had as much fun as I have. It is always a blast for me to get to play, but today to get to share some of these stories and the history and to talk about the slip note style is really special to me. So I hope you all have enjoyed yourself as much as I have today. A few housekeeping notes as we wrap up our show today. Make sure that you are subscribed to my channel on YouTube if you're watching there, or you're following me on Facebook if you're watching on Facebook, and you'll never miss a new episode of The Jason Coleman Show. And as always, you can rewatch this show or any of our previous 63 shows, I guess, on YouTube, Facebook, or my website as well. We got a lot of other great shows about my granddad in particular, too, you can go back and check out. And we're so proud to keep sharing these concerts online to you and to make them free for anybody to enjoy, but it's only possible, seriously, because so many of you have supported us in an ongoing way during this past year and a half. And so the best way for you to support my music and to help us keep this going is to join our supporter family. You can do that at the link there you see on the screen, jasoncolemanmusic.com/join, and it really does help us to keep the music playing. You can find out more there at the link too. And one more way you can support what we're doing, especially as we're getting now close to the Christmas shopping season, is to check out my music. Here are the songbooks. I tracked them down. The Piano Magic of Floyd Cramer. If you or someone you know is a piano player and wants to play in this slip note style, in these books I've got the slip notes written on the page that you can play along with if you read music or if you play by ear. There's a CD in the back cover as well. You can listen along and play that way too. So they're available on my website, and I've also got a whole host of CDs, including the brand new Simply Piano Volume 5 coming out here. Coming out here just in the next week. This is the 5th edition of the Simply Piano album series I've been releasing over the past 2 years. It features the best of the Jason Coleman Show. This is now, after 5 albums, more than 70 songs I've been playing for you on Sunday mornings over the past year and a half that you can take home and solo piano arrangements of these songs. Volume 5 is available for pre-order now. It'll be ready and just in about another week, the week after Thanksgiving, and you can check those out on my website as well. In fact, 3, I think, of the songs I played for you today, at least, Please Help Me, I'm Falling, Welcome to My World, and even Last Date are on the new Volume 5 album. So check that out too. Check my website for concert dates. I'll see you in person hopefully sometime soon. And but in the meantime, we got a lot more music to come here online through the Christmas season and beyond. I'm tired, but we got time for one more song. You've heard it once already today, but it is tradition here on the Jason Coleman Show to close with one last song. And I guess there's no other thing to say. You know, we started out the show asking, what is a Floyd Cramer slip note? Right here is your answer.